What's up everyone? We wanted to see if it's still worth it building your own FPV freestyle drone in 2025.
Today we'll be going over all the points that we wanted to make after we built our own FPV drone, and we're going to be comparing it to the DJI Avata 2.
Alright, so before we get into the actual process of building our own FPV drone, I wanted to just ask, why did you want to build a custom FPV drone? What are the benefits?
So I wanted to build a custom FPV drone was because I was reaching the limits of the DJI Avata 2. At some point you're going to be reaching its maximums. It doesn't like to go backwards and do backwards slides very well, and I wanted to get better at those. And then just some more advanced tricks and ultimately faster flying. So that's why I decided to build my own custom FPV drone.
And for the size of FPV drone, we went with the 5-inch freestyle, and we chose that because we do not do any racing with the drones. Okay, so first off, we're going to talk about the parts we used to build this drone, and then we're going to compare the total price to the DJI Avata 2.
So for all the parts I bought, it cost me $307 to buy everything for the drone. That does not include the air unit that I put on it though.
We used the DJI Air Unit 1. How much would one of those be?
So the DJI Air Unit 1 is not that expensive. They're pretty easy to find online as secondhands, but you're not going to be able to buy them brand new anymore.
And how much would the newest DJI Air Unit be for people not living in the United States? Do you know?
So the price for the newest Air Unit is actually the 04 Air Unit, and it costs you about $230.
And then something also we had to think about was actually putting the drone together. You need a solder and some other tools. How much would those cost? If
you buy a nice soldering iron, which is about $50, it'll cost you about $70 in parts just to be able to build the drone. I also recommend buying, they have a smoke tester that you plug into your battery terminal before you first plug it in to make sure everything's soldered correctly. That was about $15. With the total cost of the basic drone was about $250. With everything that I needed, including the remote for the drone, it was $457 I spent building my first FPV drone.
How does that compare to a brand new DJI Avata 2 if you're not buying it in America right now?
So standard price DJI Avata 2 right now goes for about $1,100 for the kit that includes the controller, the drone, one battery, and the goggles Integra.
And then that brings us to our next section. We're going to be talking about capability. What's the difference of the capability of this drone compared to the DJI Avata 2?
So the capability with this drone, it's just easier to fly. Everything on it is super smooth. Like with this one, you're able to do flips without the goggles on, which is kind of fun to do. It's a cool trick to show off. With the Avata 2, it's just not stable enough to do that in the air. Unless you're using the motion controller to do it, then it's super easy to do tricks. But if you're trying to do them with the actual RC3, then it's just a pain to do with.
The next thing we're going to be talking about is building time. Obviously, it's a lot different making your own FPV drone compared to the DJI Avata 2. You pay the price premium just to have it ready to fly, plug in, charge the batteries, and fly immediately. How long did it take you to build the FPV drone compared to like how long did it take you to set up the Avata 2?
So the Avata 2 takes about 15 minutes of setup to be able to get it to your preferred settings and everything good to go, including potential software updates that haven't been done since it left the manufacturer. With the custom FPV drone, it took me about 3 hours to actually build the drone and solder everything together. And then it took me an additional 2 days on and off of coding to actually get it to fly properly and in the ways I wanted it to. That 2 days is a rough estimate though. I had other stuff going on, so it's just 2 days using my free time to code it.
But you enjoyed building it? You had a good time?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to build. It was a completely different experience, and it's got me really excited to build another FPV drone.
Next up, we're going to be talking about the battery life of the FPV freestyle drone.
So the battery life for a freestyle drone, I fly 100C 4-cell 1500 milliamp batteries, which give me about 5 minutes of flight if I'm not flying aggressively. But if I am flying aggressively, I get about 3 minutes of battery life.
And you installed bigger motors on this drone, correct?
So I have 27,000 kV motors on here, which draw a lot of power, causing my battery life to be a little bit lower, but I get way more agility out of this drone.
So yeah, depending on what different motors and other systems you put on your drone, the more power it's going to take and the longer battery life you're going to have. So that's a variable That's going to depend between every different drone.
So for the Avata 2 battery, the manufacturer states that it can last about 25 minutes, but I found out that it can actually last about 15 minutes while flying in manual mode, not aggressively, which is actually really impressive. But the Avata 2 battery, while flying aggressively, lasts about 7 to 8 minutes.
So definitely a big difference between the Freestyle and the Avata. But like we mentioned before, you don't get as much power or agility with the Avata 2. Okay, so we have decided that building your own custom FPV drone is definitely worth it in the Big 2.5. It's gonna be a lot better than having an Avata 2.
Personally, we live in the United States and DJI has made it nearly impossible to get hands on those parts. If you look online, an 03 air unit is reselling for about $500, which is just an outrageous price to pay for some 2022 technology in the Big 2.5. That is just not worth it. Another advantage of using your own custom-made FPV drone is the camera. You can go ahead and put a GoPro, Osmos Action 5 Pro on it, Insta360 camera, and it'll all be really high quality cameras, and you can have a little bit more choice on what's put on it.
Yeah, everyone, and that is why we think that it's definitely still worth it to build your own custom FPV drone in the Big 2.5. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up and subscribe, and check out our YouTube channel and our Instagram, Flying Fridays.
Watch this. Custom FPV toss launch, take one. How did the guy hook it into the sky and get it to balance out? That's what I want to know.